Let's do Oh Yeah, Hey Yeah. You need that? 1, 2, 3.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. This morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Right on, Steve.
I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't do that on my own. Thank you, Ray Davis. Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley. How is life in the world? Is good? Are we happy? Yes? Nice, nice. Welcome, Fresno in the house. I tell you, Nancy Fuller, you got the United Middletons of America family. I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. All right, and just for a record, do not try to figure Michelle out. She'll make sure. She's got all of her. Do not try to figure me out. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, Eric. Good to see you. Yeah, a lot of visitors. Ooh, Samaritan Center's in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so big things happening. Christmas in July. The Holiday Boutique starts next week. Still time to bring in your gently used items and jewelry to the office this week, anytime between 11 and 2. And if you call Danny, you can arrange other times to drop stuff off. It's going to be a wonderful experience. We're going to do a lot of other Christmas in July type stuff. We're going to have some Christmas caroling, some Christmas themed talks. It's going to, I mean, really, it's going to be December in July because it's, you know, it's going to start getting warm. So we thought if we could just think cool, we'll feel cool, right? Christmas giving. Part of that giving is why we have our guests here from the Samaritan Center, and we'll be hearing from Annika Sumby and from Diane Murphy a little bit later to talk about how we can also work that charitable feeling that comes through the Christmas season into doing things for this wonderful organization within our community. They'll tell you more about that. You know about it anyway, but some bullet points. They'll give us some bullet points that we can dive into to share with others to spread the good news about what we're all about. So that is just a sample of how we make our vision and mission statement come to life, and it is on the screen for you to look at right now. Here we go. You ready? Mm-hmm. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God. In gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do. Elaine, pray us in, please.
Thank you. Let's pray in. Take a deep breath and know the truth that love is all there is. created in love, expressing love, being love in every aspect of our lives and everything that we do. And there are many kinds of love, of family, of self, but I'm talking right now of love of community. And I felt it in the greetings that we had for each other. The fact that you are here is an expression of love. And I am so grateful. And I'm grateful for this time together as community and for our spiritual leader, Reverend Stephen, who will guide us into knowing the truth about ourselves and about the love of this community. I know this is true, and so it is.
Join us for our congregational song. This is the last time we'll be singing this. We've got new ones next week. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today? How can I serve today? Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today? Sweet Spirit.
We've set the intention. We know what it's all about. We know that the things that we think about and focus on become the reality of our lives. We'll talk more about that in the talk, but right now we're talking about our Cosmic Kid program. And I had to look up some stuff for the
Gotta play their theme song.
I had to look up some stuff for today's talk, and one of the pairs of heroes for today's talk is Rocket and Groot. I am Groot. So that got me into the Cosmic Kid thing, right? Because what do we call our guardians? Guardians of the Cosmic Kid Galaxy. We know it's happening, and so it is. Boom.
So now is the time to read our affirmation together. Thank you. And so I will read it first, and then we'll read it all together. Stepping fully into my connection with Spirit, I engage the great power that indwells me. Stepping fully into my connection with Spirit, I engage the great power that indwells me. So my reading today is from Thomas Troward, and if any of you have ever taken a class here, you know he was a great influence on Ernest Holmes, along with Emerson and Emma Curtis Hopkins. Thomas Troward, he's very interesting because a lot of his stuff, he gave talks, and they just transcribed them. So sometimes it's hard to read, and so I found this a challenge, but the perfect reading for today. And it's from is it the Doré Lectures, Chapter 6, The Creative Power of Thought, page 159. We must never lose sight of the reason for the creative power of our thought, that it is because our mind is itself a thought of the divine mind, and that consequently our increase in livingness and creative power must be in exact proportion to our perception of our relation to the parent mind. In such considerations as these is to be found the philosophical basis of the Bible doctrine of sonship, with its culmination in the conception of the Christ. These are not mere fancies, but the expression of strictly scientific principles in their application to the deepest problems of the individual life. And their basis is that each one's world, whether in or out of the flesh, must necessarily be created by his own consciousness. And in its turn, his mode of consciousness will necessarily take its color from his conception of his relation to the divine mind, to the exclusion of light and color if he realizes no divine mind, and to their building up into forms of beauty in proportion as he realizes his identity of being with that all-originating spirit, which is light, love, and beauty in itself. Thus, the great creative work of thought in each of us is to make us consciously sons and daughters of the Almighty, realizing that by our divine origin, we can never be really separated from the parent mind, which is continually seeking expression through us. And then any apparent separation is due to our own misconception of the true nature of the inherent relation between the universal and the individual.
Thank you, Elaine. This morning we have our brother, Ray Davis. And unfortunately, this is our last time with him this year. So enjoy. Yeah, we had 4 dates with him, though, this year. 4. And we, yeah. Not the last, but maybe this year.
Good morning. Y'all all right? Everybody good? You're looking cute. So this song is called Now I Know Everything. And I actually don't get to sing this song very often. So I'm very, very happy to be able to present it this morning. I want to thank our wonderful house band and Cherie Deeds, Sister Cherie Deeds, for organizing this group. Y'all have a treasure here. This is not usual. Why am I so...
I know.
I'm kind of... Hold on a second.
Because you were facing us during rehearsal.
I reckon that's it. No sense to... Okay. Come here. Come here. That's a little better.
Yeah.
So this song... The idea of Yeshua. Yeshua had a wonderful thing to contribute to humanity. Yeshua, I call him Yeshua because that's what his mama called him. Jesus, that name didn't exist when he was here. But Yeshua had a wonderful thing that he contributed to us, to not be afraid of death. Take away the sting of death. Death, you have no sting. Hell, no victory, right? That whole thing. And this song sort of celebrates that idea. It celebrates the experience of those blessed souls amongst us who have had what are called near-death experiences. The song is called Now I Know Everything. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I know everything, as simple as can marks on my body was bloody and bare. There were doctors and nurses working on me. I didn't care, no. See, I was floating, I was swelling, I was trailing, y'all. In the brightest white light, yeah. Ooh, and for the first time, it always said to me, not afraid to die, no. Hey, it was a miracle, it's only a miracle. Can't explain, I came back tonight. Now I know everything, simple as can be. It's more than I ever dreamed. God, she showed me everything, and it's beautiful, beautiful, so very beautiful. If we don't die, then what are we so afraid of? If we're all one, then why don't we just love, 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 one Now I know everything, simple as can be. It's more than reality. Ever know it? God showed me everything, and it's beautiful, 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 so very beautiful, so very beautiful.
Ray Davis. It is beautiful.
So very beautiful. Thank you. And now is the time for our God awareness place meditation, the gap meditation, the space in between your thoughts that make you crazy. If you pay attention to the little gaps in there, that's where you can reach that place of knowing the divine in yourself. This will be 3 minutes, and Cherie will play us out. And let us begin.
everywhere I am. Tell you that I am all appearing. I am all invisible. See me if you can. Everywhere I am.
Thank you, Cherie, and thank you for sharing the 3-minute meditation with me. And I invite you to create your own personal meditation at home. I know that I have my own, and it has greatly enhanced my life, my ability to connect. 3 minutes is enough. It doesn't have to be a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got another beautiful song from Ray.
Cherie, that is one of my favorite of Ricky Byers' songs. Everywhere I Am. It is. Thank you for singing that one. Out of darkness into light, the living one in all places, all spaces. Those things that seem dark to us, that seem scary to us. Yet if we spend time in cultivating a relationship, we'll recognize that all is well, no matter what we're going through. This is a song of encouragement called Sun Will Rise. If you're perplexed beyond reason, total confusion in your mind, pay heed to simple sign and season, wonderful the feelings you find. Send yourself messages of courage, courage to conquer the past. Fall back from thoughts that discourage, make sure they never last. When it seems like life is useless, seems to you that you are too. Strength for the struggle, inspiration, motivation from the source in you. The sun will rise, don't you ever doubt. Sun will rise, you can work it out. Sun will rise, bringing a new day. Never to fail for tomorrow. the sun will rise, bringing a bringing a new day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Sun will rise. La, 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 la. You might as well sing it with me. Just sing this. Sun will rise. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Sun will rise. Every day, every day. Yes, it will. The sun will rise. Don't worry about what happened to you now, no. The sun will rise. Don't worry what they said about you, no, 'cause the sun will rise. La, 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 la. One more time. The sun will rise.
Wait, don't go there. Here, take this, take that. You are the ultimate professional.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes.
saw it, I
Yeah,
caught
we
it.
all saw that, yeah.
And you just sang right through it. Come here, come here. It didn't make me stand up here for 20 minutes saying, sun will rise,
You know,
and Stephen will sit, sun will rise, sit your butt down, sun will rise, I ain't done yet, sun will rise, go home, Stephen, sun will rise.
Okay, yeah, you're
That's
gonna.
beautiful. No, I'm not touching it. I'm adulting today.
Look at him. He can't help it.
My spiritual superpower. Today's talk's going to be kind of like a Science of Mind 100. This is basics, but and as I was having that experience preparing this talk, thinking, this is really basic, I had a Science of Mind synchronicity this morning. So I called my brother. He's in Africa, in South Africa. He's at a teaching opportunity, teaching young kids drama and theater and stuff. And so I was checking in because it's like 7:30 there or whatever, something like that. And in the evening. And so I said, so Michael, I'm doing this talk on superpower, on our superpower. And here's what he tells me. The first day of his class, he asked the students to tell me, write down your name, a word to describe you, and what is your superpower. I was like, oh my God. And they came up with superpowers like, my superpower is I can walk on water, or my superpower is I can see through walls. And one kid's superpower is I can make the hungry feel fed. I was like, wow. I can make the hungry feel fed. These are fifth graders. These are not adults. These are kids. It's beautiful, beautiful. Who knew? Who knew that the superpower could be so simple? It starts with I. It starts with I. The superpower is our ability to dream, to imagine, to create, to choose, to do those things. We have this awareness, this consciousness that lets us create a superpower that says, I can have the hungry feel fed. What an incredible superpower. But it comes from that space of being able to create, to imagine, to dream. what we get to do with that, how we can heal the world, how we can live in that space of assuredness that the sun will rise, that the new idea will spark, that the light will come through you, through Kate, through John. It'll come, and John. A lot of Johns in this house. This field of infinite potentiality that I'm talking about, it's dependable, it's predictable, and it's available. We can depend on this creative power within us. We know. I mean, you just cannot stop yourself from having ideas. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you that it's not something that we do alone. It's because we are connected with the universe. So the universe is doing that very same thing. That's why it's predictable, and it's available to each and every one of us. But, and there's always a but, there's always a fine print, we must plug into it. We have to plug into it. We have to use our power of choice to decide that we're going to be creative, to decide that we're going to be imaginative, to decide that we're going to dream, that the status quo is not enough, that something different is what I'm up for, and I'm here empowered to do that. I was looking at some stuff the other day, and I ran across this poem from Meister Eckhart, and it just really told the story for me. It says, when I was the stream, when I was the forest, when I was still the field, when I was every hoof, foot, fin, and wing, when I was the sky itself. When I was the sky itself. No one ever asked me, did I have a purpose? No one ever wondered, was there anything I might need? For there was nothing I could not love. It was when I left all we once were, the agony began. When I left all we once were, that the agony began. The fear and the questions came, and I wept, and tears I had never known before. So I surrendered to the river. I returned to the mountains. I asked for their hand in marriage again. I begged to be wed to every object and every creature. And when they accepted, God was ever present in my arms. And he did not say, where have you been? He did not say, where have you been? And for then I knew my soul, every soul, always held him. Always held her, always held it. We are held in the embrace of the divine always when we remember to return to the forest, to the nature, to the oneness, to the thing that we are all a part of. When we can get back to who we really are. And to understand, as Dr. Holmes tells us in the Signs of Mind textbook, that the answer to every question is within man. The answer to every question is within woman. The answer to every question is within you, is what he's saying in that generic way of writing from the 1920s. So if you want to know what your future is, if you want to know where your life is going, if you want to know what's going to happen next in your life, look at the words that are coming out of your mouth. Really. My dad, who we talked to last week, he had so much fun. He laughed about that all week long. He used to tell me that, you're only responsible for the words that come in and come out of your mouth, the things that go into and come out of your mouth. That's all you're responsible for. And if we're responsible for our words are responsible for us. They're responsive to us, and we must engage our superpower of creativity, our superpower of imagination, our superpower to dream, our ability to choose. We must engage that to make our dreams a reality, to bring the possibility that is probable into our life experience. And it's wonderful. It happens that way because we live in a benevolent universe, a beneficent universe, one that wants us to survive, to thrive, to flourish, not just to make it go by day by day. It wants the good. That's why the Genesis story ends every day of creation with, and it was good and very good. It's not an accident. Is to remind us that that's how we are supposed to be in life. We're supposed to sense this oneness and, like the forest, go back to it. We must return to understand that. It's kind of like, Star Trek, here it comes, Odo, Odo's got to go back to the link. He's got to go back to the lake. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. It'll come up. Google knows everything almost. It's just like us. We must sense our oneness. We must return to the forest. We must tap into that power, that divine power, and then focus our good and focus on our blessings. It's so easy to make the complaints. The body has done that. You know, it's designed, the brain, right? It's a problem solver. Thank God it has solved some problems. That's why we're all here. You know, it was, all of us are the descendants, as I've talked about before, of the smart ancestors, the ones who ran when the tiger jumped out of the, you know? Because some of our lost cousins were like, you know? We're not from them. We are the successful ones. Or the other successful ones who went, come on, get it! You know, we're from that group. So we can solve these problems in life. We're here to do that. But it helps to do that when we use the frontal cortex and decide to go like, you know, I'm going to focus on the good things in my life and not the bad things. You know? Okay, so my shirt's a little tighter this week, but there's a lot of food in my icebox. Find the good. It's always there. And as we do that, as we live that way, we live a happier, more dynamic life. Yes. Have you guys read the Pam Grout books, the E-series books, E squared, E cubed? If you haven't, I recommend you read those books. They're really great. And she says that there is an infinite force of potentiality in the universe that has our backs. The universe has our backs. It wants us. It wants to interact with us and to guide us. It's asking us to listen. Remember listen silent thing last week? We're listen, silent, silent, listen, silent, right? It wants us to get silent and to listen so that it can guide us into that great good that's coming our way. And here's the great thing. The universe cannot help itself to help us. It's designed in such a way, it does not know how to not create. If you were to, Brian Swim talks about this in The Hidden Heart of the Cosmos, if you were to cup your hands right here, just cup your hands, within that space are billions and trillions of molecules of gases. Now, if you were to take those gas molecules and all that stuff out, you throw those out, okay, now there's left over, there's little neutrinos, little invisible sun packets of light and stuff like that. So let's suck those subatomic particles out of there. And then there's some invisible leftover stuff. They can't figure what that is. So we'll take that out too. We take that out. And now there's nothing left. This is what scientists have done. And then what they discovered is when they create that vacuum that's nothing left, stuff starts to show up. Elementary particles, poop, 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 poop. And the scientists go, wait, I just sucked all that out. Poop, 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 poop. No, suck it out. Boop, 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 boop. The universe cannot stop producing, creating stuff. So that our superpower is inherent in our relationship to the universe. We cannot stop creating new ideas all the time. Engage that power. It's amazing. Now, I'm calling the guy Darmawid Umerchu. I don't know. Diarmid. Thank you. Someone speaks Gaelic. Right. He's right. Gaelic. Yes, he is. He's smart too. And he wrote this incredible book, Innocence and Creative Simplicity, in which he says, the emptiness we see all around us is an overflowing fullness out of which everything in creation, including humans, is born and sustained. The emptiness is filled with fullness. There's this, it's a fecund emptiness. It's nurturing. It's a vacuum that cannot be left unfulfilled. The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, 1926, he wrote it down. He says, the invisible forms into the visible. And then here we got 40 years, 50 years later, the quantum theories that have discovered that all that is true. And all that is happening can be easily blocked by you. All that's just popping into existence can just pop right out of existence because it's only going to last for a couple seconds. That stuff is so, and it's gone. We got to seize it while it's there. But we don't. Why? Because we doubt. We actually doubt that the sun's going to rise in the morning. You know, we doubt these things. And then when we do that doubt, we're breaking ourselves off. We're like dividing body and spirit. We do it all the time, the secular and the profane and all that stuff. No, it's all one. There's just the one thing happening. They only, the sacred was just what happened inside the church, and the profane was what happened outside the church. But then Jesus came along and said, we don't need the temple because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So that means that everything is sacred, not just what's inside. And what's inside is inside you. So that means that inside you is sacred and you're outside here. So how can there be any division between any of these things? But the minute we start to separate all that kind of stuff, that's when we get into trouble. That's when we lose the connection to this overflowing fullness, this fecund emptiness. But when we can reunite that, we begin to invite unification instead of inviting limitation and separation. So when we start thinking that the body is something different from the spirit, and the spirit is something different from the mind, and the mind is something different from the soul, those are gaps in the connectivity to all that is. We must remain aware of the depth of this fullness and the power of this fullness. And our superpower is that we can remain aware of that. Our superpower is that we can choose to stay in that space. How cool is that? And you don't need a cape. Although if a cape helps you, go for it. I actually have a cape on under this. No. It's an invisibility cloak. But that imagination thing, the vision that we hold, inside the vision that we see, that is where our home lies. It's what we see is what we get. And what we get is what we see. How we envision things begins to constellate our actions, and we begin to move into that direction. Back to the start of the day. You wake up in the morning and you stub your toe, and then you burn your toast, and you go outside and you just washed your car yesterday, and then a bird decided to decorate it for you, and now it's just feeling like it's all gone downhill. And next thing you know, if you get into the car with that energy, what's next? Red lights, maybe a traffic jam, flat tire. It just starts flowing. But in the reverse of that, if you just kind of like go, oh man, the birds those are the same birds that were singing to me this morning when I woke up, but it was such a beautiful bird song, and oh man, I just scrape the toast, it's okay, and I can stuff for the compost. I mean, you just start to flip that around, and you get in the car, and then your favorite song is on the radio, and then you hit all the green lights on your way to work, and the boss took the day off, and you're like, wow, this is a great life. And it's all coming from choice. It's all coming from the vision of what you see is what you get, you see? Fezziwig. We are our only hindrance to the joy of life. We are our only hindrance. So we must learn to say in those moments that scare us, in those moments where doubt shows up, in those moments where we're feeling anxious or upset or about anything, we must say, it's okay. I am going to engage my spiritual superpower, dream, vision, imagine a new way of living for this moment, and then I'm going to step into it. If I can dream it, I can create it. And if I don't do that, if I choose not to, then I've decided to put myself into a prison. I can do that too. I consent to either stay or to leave. It's up to me. A fellow was telling a story about not having enough money, and he went to his dad. It was hard for him to do that. It took a lot of pride to swallow for some reason, as if his dad would not give him what he wanted or what he needed. But he did. He asked his dad. His dad loaned him $1,600. He was very grateful. Supposed to pay the money back in a year, and a year came, and he did not have the money to pay his dad back. Not only did he not have the money, but now he had even more shame inside because he couldn't pay it back, and he needed more money. He was like, I can't go ask my dad for more money. I just can't do it, But sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes, even though we have this superpower of dreaming, creating, doing, and all that stuff, sometimes we have to go and ask for help. And so he realized this, and he did. He went and he asked for help. He went back to his dad. He said, Dad, I know I'm supposed to pay you back, and I don't have the money to pay you back. And in fact, I kind of need to borrow some more money. And his father says, I would give you anything, but I actually don't have. I could give you maybe $100 or $200, but that's all I got. But let me think about it. Well, it turns out like a year or so earlier, the son had given his father a bicycle that his father had actually bought for him, but he wasn't riding. His dad rode it to work and to the store because their neighborhood was small. And the dad came back in and he said, you know, I was just in the garage and I was thinking about that bike that you gave me, and I'm wondering if maybe you might want to sell me the bike for $1,600. And so I said, sure, Dad. And he says, and Dad said, here's a couple $100 to go along with it. When we ask for help, the help shows up. That's part of the dream, create, and know and imagine. To imagine that when you look for the support is there for you too. That's also a part of our superpower. But see, Gareth Higgins, who I got that story from, says that the bittersweet opportunity for you, for me, for everyone that we know is to recognize that we are our own jailers. That we are the ones that hold ourselves. If that young man had not let himself out of prison of doubt and shame and regret or worry or image or whatever it was holding him back from asking for support or help, he would not have gotten the support or help. You know? We have to choose to free ourselves from ourselves sometimes. I was thinking about the help, and that's when I was doing the thing about the superhero partners, you know, Batman and Robin and Rocket and Groot and the Lone Ranger and Tonto. And I know politically incorrect to talk about Lone Ranger and Tonto, but they were still a great pair. You know, I love that. You know the Lone Ranger. Okay, tangent. The Lone Ranger Tonto story, where they're out camping and they go to sleep and they wake up and the Lone Ranger's like, oh my God, there's stars overhead. Somebody stole our tent. And Tonto's going, yes, but the heavens are beautiful, or something like that, or some kind of story like that. I love that story, and I can't remember the story now. I knew I loved it, though. I should ask for help. If some of you guys know how that story really goes, tell me after the service. But the point of all this is that none of those superhero duos have any problem asking their super support team for help. It's not a sign of weakness when one asks for help. It's really an opportunity to experience the oneness, to give someone else a chance to be a part of what makes your life more joyful. You know, we had a lot of help learning about our limitations. We had a lot of help teaching us the things in our life that tell us what we can't do, what we shouldn't do, who we aren't supposed to be, how we're not supposed to act. That didn't come without help. So why not ask for help for the things that we do want and that we do need, that will help heal those other things that happen in our lives, heal those areas of unworthiness and sadness and lack and the yeah buts. Yeah, you can't do that, but you can't do that, but you can't do that. See, help allows time, and asking for help allows time for the potentiality to show up. Sometimes it takes time for that stuff to arrive. So the help is kind of like a quantum tunneling where we can break through walls and barriers into those infinite possibilities of existence that come forth. Asking for help is sometimes how we own our spiritual superpower. How we work through it, how we go through the effort of making it happen through that sense of persistence and through practice. And we must practice. We must engage this and be brave enough to step into our highest truth. Dax Bamania, so philanthropist and businessman who goes around the world helping others to live their life more fully, says if you don't challenge yourself, you will never realize your infinite potential for yourself. So challenge yourself. Take out your superpower, cape or not, dream it, imagine it, create it, believe it, and then go do it. And so it is. So my power stance. It's like a superpower stance. All right, let's do it. Stepping fully into my connection with Spirit, I engage the great power that indwells me. Let's do a moment of revealing truth in prayer. We need some sound. Some settling energy. So I ask you right now to take a moment to go within, considering the superpower within you to dream, to imagine, to create. From the silence, take a moment to listen. What arises? What arises from awareness in that silent moment? This is a call to your good, a call to a greater experience of life, a call to a deeper, enhanced moment of joy and happiness, peace, serenity, and prosperity and abundance. When we get quiet and still, even if what shows up in that silent moment is something that feels distasteful, that is also a call for its complementary opposite, its pair. So if in that moment of silence worry came up, know that peace is at the other end of that. If in that moment something anxious arose, know that a sense of satisfaction is also there. If sadness came up, joy is also there. They all coexist on a continuum in the wholeness that is life. And it is from this place of wholeness that I speak this word of completeness for each and every one of us. That no matter what arises in the moment of silence, there is a solution within us caused by our connection to that great superpower of creativity that allows us to choose a direction that brings peace and harmony, a sense of serenity to the soul. I'm knowing that truth. I haven't connected to that power for myself, and I know that as I bring this awareness into my own consciousness, I add it to those that are here with me in this moment. For I know that we all use the same thing, for we are of the same thing. The great one power, this thing called life. So grateful for it, so grateful for this connection and this ability to choose to use it and to use it well and wisely. And in that understanding, I know now that all I need to do is release this intention for the good to show up in our lives into an infinite law that makes it happen now. And so it is. So it is. Oh, we got little money stuff to talk about. I really love all these ways we can do this giving. My favorite is to call the office and have somebody just do it like a live. We actually have live people. I know that sometimes you get the voicemail, the thing. A live person recorded that. So it's still a live person. It's just electronic. Yeah. So it's all those. And we have this wonderful affirmation that we do that supports not just what we do at our center here, but it supports the world and it supports each and every one of us. And it's powerful in its wording. So as you read these words, let them land on your heart. Let them become a part of your body so that you can take this harmonizing, adjusting, prospering power out into the world with you. And here it is now. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for the world, Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley, and me now. Divine love prevails. All right. Thank you, Cherie. This week's announcements. Ooh, that's pretty. Thank you, ushers. Please bless the baskets as they go by.
As I look down into these baskets, I see the energy of love and community and the prosperity of this community. I'm so grateful for all the giving, and I gratefully receive in the name of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley. I know they go forth to do good for this community, and so it is.
So it is. All right, we got one last one from Ray. And joining it are the L's, or the CSLs, or we're the jewel tones today.
Yes.
Ray and the jewel tones.
Jewel tones. Okay, before we do anything else, I'm holding in my hand a nice little flyer. I got a few of these. Lori's going to have a few of these once we're done. So y'all don't know this, but for the last 8 weeks, I've been doing a show every Saturday night called High Vibe Saturday Night with Ray Davis. High Vibe Saturday Night with Ray Davis. It's a virtual show on my YouTube channel, which is at The Ray Davis, YouTube at The Ray Davis. So this is a little flyer to remind you. It's got a little picture on the back so you know who the heck we're talking about. So we got a few of them. We'll have them out in the lobby once we're done. So if you're so interested, every Saturday night live at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Do you have an electronic version of that?
I do have an electronic version.
Email it to us. We'll put it in our constant contact e-blast.
Most certainly will.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Okay. And now we go.
Speaking of a high vibe, here we go.
Almost.
Your heart out, David Letterman.
Yeah, right? Okay, so we go. So this is the last song.
Fun.
There's a line in it. You ain't gonna get it together, but you ain't gonna get it together by working on what is wrong. Mm-hmm. Sugar, now you can't make it. You can't make it better if you keep singing the same old sad song. Mm-hmm. It's gotta be love. Mm-hmm. That's this song. It's gotta be love. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So when you're feeling down, way underground, I'm gonna take you where the vibe is higher. You got your head hung down. You got your back up, bent up. You got your weeping eyes. truth will set you free. So no, there ain't nothing that you lack. So get on up, sing hallelujah, hallelujah, and feel the love all around you. Come on, people, get up, stand in your power, cause you ain't gonna get it together, working on what is wrong. I'm here to tell you that I can take away your sad song.
You're feeling down, way down, way down.
I'm gonna take you where
I'm gonna take
back
you
was
where
higher.
God is higher.
No need to ask my name, you know it. It's gotta be love. No matter where you be,
No matter where
I'm
you
right
be,
beside you.
I'm holding
I'm
on,
gonna take you where
and I will take
back
you
was
where
higher.
God is higher.
Just put your trust in me. You know my name is got to be love. Unconditional love. You ain't gonna get it together, working on what is wrong. I'm here to tell you that I can take away your sad song.
You're feeling down, way down, way
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you where
I'm gonna take
back
you
was
where
higher.
God is higher.
No need to ask my name, you know it. It's gotta be love, love. No matter where you be,
No matter where
I'm
you
right
be,
beside you.
I'm always
I'm
right,
gonna take you where
and I will take
love
you
is
where
higher. Just put your trust in me, sugar. You know my name. It's gotta be love. Gotta be love, gotta be love. That's it. We did it. Thank you, ladies.
Ray Davis, Soul Purpose Band, and the L's. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Oh, that was lovely. What a sweet service. Thank you so much. So good to have such support from so many people. First, all of you for being here, and then those that helped to make it set up for you to get here. Our lead service team person today was Costa. We got John and Becca and Deborah on the team. Greg Seymour is up there in the booth, making a return appearance to the booth. John Mizialco, the gift, the Mize Man, on the slides back there. Always got to do a nod to Steve Fowler, to Randy Jones, to Bob Townley, the Soul Purpose Band, Cassandra and Elaine, giving us the CS and the C and the L. S is taking a time out today.
We're the jewel tones today.
Oh, that's right, the jewel tones. The jewel tones, I love it. That's beautiful, beautiful. And of course, Ray Davis.
Yeah.
And let's see, and got to bring up Elaine. Elaine, tell us, come on, share with us. Oh, hold on. Nope.
The prayer box is out in the lobby, and we do pass those around to all the practitioners and ministers, and we do pray for you if you leave an intention in the box. And I will be standing over there after the end of the service if you want a quick prayer. And I encourage you to have yourself a practitioner. You know, practitioners, we're here to know the truth for you when you can't know it for yourself. And you don't have to have a huge problem in your life to want to pray for the best for you. And that's what we're here for.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Elaine. Excellent. We'll use this in just a moment. Okay, I want to remind you about the concerts coming up next week with the Fam Danley Unplugged. We are selling tickets, $20 today, $25 at the door. Come on out. John Bellis and his crew will be playing some great music for you next Friday. Please come and enjoy that. And as part of our Christmas in July activity, we want to talk about what's happening. I'm going to invite up the executive director, Annika Sumby, and her volunteer coordinator, Diane Murphy. Come on, guys. Come on up. And Nancy.
Thank you.
Okay, so how come they're here? What did you do?
I know. You did it. We did it. This community did it. We've been serving a hot meal once a month for years, right? It's my understanding at the Samaritan Center. And so in May, Michelle and I did the hot meal. I went over there with Darlene, who said, you know, they really need volunteers over here. And I'm like, they do? And I have a big heart for homeless and women and children living in cars. And so I talked to the volunteer coordinator, Diane Murphy, and she introduced me to the director, Annika Sumby. And I said, I can do almost anything. And Diane said, can you drive? I said, I've been driving all my life. So tomorrow morning, I quickly go with their beautiful new van, drive to Costco and pick up donated food and drive to Albertson. And I mean, we fill up this van. I need a helper. I can't lift all of it. And so when we said this morning that the superpower is to feed the hungry, that's Samaritan Center's superpower, for sure.
It is.
3 times a day, they make a hot breakfast, they make lunch, they make dinner, and they do a lot more than that. So I'm going to turn it over to Diane to tell us what they do. Of course I would.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us here.
Yes.
I'm grateful to have my executive director here because I am a chatty hitchhiker, but I'm just not in front of crowds. But I can talk your head off individually. Right now, we really do need volunteers, but we also need non-perishable food, and I hope that's okay to disperse that. A lot of people do food drives during the holidays, and it's wonderful, and we love it. But homelessness is all year long, so we really do need non-perishable food. We're running really, really low. Although we get the perishable foods from all the grocery stores weekly, and we're so blessed for that, we're not getting the canned foods and simple foods like that. So we really need to reach out. Nancy's wonderful. I always corner her and ask her for support. Volunteers, we love it because what's our percentage of volunteers? Maybe 80%? I mean, we run a small staff. But our volunteers are our blessings, and they're the ones that keep the puzzle going with all of us, and they help us support our community. So Nancy's wonderful because we do have grocery drivers that do it all the time, but sometimes they want a vacation. So I told them they're not allowed, but they do. So Nancy's wonderful. She, jumps right in and helps, and it gets tough because we do pick up a lot of stuff, and her pickup is really, really heavy. So we usually send 2 for that. So we always need pantry support. People want to come in and just help put together boxes, help provide, because we do pantry twice a week where cars drive up, and we have boxes that we provide to them. We also have walk-up pantry for the ones that don't have cars. Unfortunately, we're seeing an increase of homelessness due to probably COVID, all the support COVID was giving to everybody. Now it's not, so we're seeing a lot of families in cars, and it's sad. So luckily we have a wonderful staff with caseworkers that they come to us and they can actually help them and see what they need. So I get to be the volunteer coordinator, so it's a lot of fun because I get to meet all of you and I can show you around and I get you all signed up and helping with the center. So we're blessed to be here today. We thank you for allowing us to come and speak to all of you. And I love it here. I used to be a member for many, many years, and then I moved to Colorado, came back, and I used to go to Westlake Village, lived in Simi, didn't know this was here, and then started here. I used to drive every week to Westlake. So I was here for about probably 10, 15 years. So I was here when Dennis was here. And then what's the next?
Tim.
Yeah,
Jim Lockhart.
And then I moved and then came back. And then, of course, Nancy's here, and then they provide a service every month and feed the homeless. So she got me back into it. I go, I know I need to get back over to the Center for Spiritual
Well, now
Living.
you're back.
You're back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes.
Talk to you.
Hi, everyone. I mean, Diane really said it all, to be honest.
You can talk about that, the wish list. You can talk about the wish list.
Let me follow up with some stats. We have over 500,000 homeless people in U.S. 30% of that is actually in California. And our number all over Ventura County, we're at about 2,400, 2,600 right now. Simi Valley alone, 150. That number sounds small, but it's been growing too compared to last year. Actually, since the pandemic, the numbers have been grown by 25%. And that's a big number, and that's where we come in. We try and help where we can. We are the only drop-in center as such here in Simi Valley. We aren't a shelter, and that is something we actually do need to fix because we don't have anything other than over the winter months where we have our pets program that runs from November till March at different churches within Simi Valley where people can come at night and just spend the night at the church. But it's only for winter and it's not ideal. And other than that, we offer breakfast, lunch, dinner. We do a lot of case management. We have showers, we have laundry. So we try and meet every person where they at, and every single one is completely different. Some, of course, want to try help get housed, and there isn't really enough housing here and nothing affordable. But others need help with medical or just resume writing, interview skills. Our caseworkers work with all of them on an individual basis, and our staff is very small. We're 7 people. Most of them are part-time actually. So it's really the community and the volunteers that keep us going. And we have about 60 volunteers every single week that come and help us. We rescue 150,000 pounds of food from Simi Valley, from different grocery stores. Our volunteers pick that up. We have a coordination with Food Share, but that's fresh food, so that's not canned goods and stuff that we're always short of. But without our volunteers and this community, we wouldn't be there. We couldn't do it without all of you, and we are very thankful for the support and for having us here and just supporting us and coming back every month, and Nancy almost every day now. But no, we really, really appreciate it. It's only working together that makes it possible, and only together we have a dream and we have a vision and we can help, and that's when we all come together. Wow. So thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Annika.
Thank you so much. Diane, thanks so much.
I just want to say that I heard when I got over there that they are celebrating, is it this year? Yes. Their 30th anniversary of the Samaritan Center in Simi Valley. Wow. And so it's really an amazing place. I would encourage any of you just to give an hour, even, once a month. They'll take whatever you want to give. But what we are doing with the Christmas in July is asking you to bring in non-perishable food this month. And I will just bring it to the center. I will take it over to the Samaritan Center. I'll pick up as many times a week as I need to. I just would love to help them fill their sheds over there with non-perishable food.
And they actually have a list that we need. Yeah. And right there on the screen is the scan code, which will also be in your e-blast this week. And there are probably some slips out, paper out in the lobby that also have the scan code, can tell you everything that they need, so we can make sure that we do targeted giving. Okay? Mm-hmm.
We'll send you some information about our 30-year celebration as well.
Party!
Yes, it will be a party.
All right, we love that.
October 1st.
Oh, great. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Well, let's participate as we have done for years and continue to do so. And we'll also now stand to our closing benediction, and then we'll sing. And this is also the last week we'll sing this song as well, right?
Last time for this song.
Okay. All right. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
Love be with you, peace unfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in, truth come through you, make it flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you. Oh, love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the light and take a stand. And we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free and share this blessing. Oh, love be with you. Peace unfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. Make it flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Oh, 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 love be with you. Right on.
All right, we'll see you this week. All kinds of things. Wednesday night, Thursday meditation, Friday a concert. It's happening at CSL Simi Valley.
I don't remember what day it was, and I didn't notice what time it was. All I know is that I fell in love with you, and if all my dreams come true, I'll be spending time with you. Every day's a new day in love with you. With each day comes a new way of loving you. And every time I see your face, my mind starts to wander. And all my dreams come true, I'll be spending time with you. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. I love you more today than yesterday, but only half as much as tomorrow. Tomorrow's day means springtime's just a day away. And Cupid, we don't need you now, be on your way. I thank